Victoria's Premier Daniel Andrews will travel to China this afternoon for a 4-day trade mission. His first since the state's controversial Belt and Road deal was torn up and the AUKUS deal was signed. But with no media invited to cover the trip, it's been criticised by the opposition, who've accused the Premier of a lack of transparency.
Speaking to Chinese international students in Melbourne, Daniel Andrews is hoping his trip to China will encourage even more to follow.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Everyone's happy.
Reviving the lucrative multi-billion-dollar sector top of the agenda as the Premier prepares to jet off to Beijing for a 4-day trade blitz.
We want their students to come here, and if they do, they'll be part of a respectful community.
No stranger to the superpower, it'll be his 7th visit, making the voyage every year since he came into office until the pandemic. Now, against a backdrop of budget blowouts, restarting relations with the state's largest trading partner under the spotlight.
It is clear that we are in absolute crisis when it comes to debt, and if he's borrowing money in terms of a line of credit from China, he simply needs to say so.
Our partnership with China is incredibly important for our income, for our industry, for investment, for jobs, and for the strongest possible future.
But it's the past that still haunts Daniel Andrews. In 2019, he blindsided Canberra by signing up to China's controversial Belt and Road initiative. Deemed against Australia's national interests, it was later torn up by Scott Morrison.
That matter was resolved by the federal parliament, so that matter's in the past.
It's that same level of secrecy, though, that's being slammed by the opposition and national security experts after the Premier revealed he'll travel to Beijing, attending back-to-back meetings without a media contingent.
I think all Victorians would want to know who Daniel Andrews is meeting, what's the intention of the trip, and what's the benefit to Victorians.
The readout we'll get about what he did and what happened is solely down to the Beijing authorities' version of events and what the Premier himself tells us. It puts a bit of an obligation on Premier Andrews to be quite open and transparent.